Sell your car, Dad said. Cameron's loan won't pay itself. That was the moment I snapped. He had just doubled my rent, even though I secretly owned the house. I looked him in the eye and said, "Then start packing. You've got 30 days to move out." I even gave him the eviction notice during a backyard party, in front of 40 guests. Back in the kitchen that day, he didn't even glance up from his screen when he told me to sell my car. I stopped, orange juice in hand. "What did you just say?" I asked. He looked at me like I was the one being unreasonable. "Your brother's under pressure, he's trying to build something." "And I'm not?" I snapped. Mom sighed at the stove. "You have a good job, Damien. Cameron just needs a little help." Help, that word again, always meant give him money. I closed the fridge, leaned on the counter. "You just doubled my rent, remember?" Dad waved it off. "You still pay less than most people." I stared at him. "Fine, double it again and call it charity." Mom clicked her tongue. "Don't be rude, he's your brother." "Yeah," I said, "he's 32, lives downstairs rent-free, and hasn't had a real job in 2 years, but sure, let's keep squeezing me." Silence. Then Dad spoke like nothing happened. "You're good with money." "Because I work," I thought. I didn't say it. Since college, I'd been working non-stop, full-time job, side jobs, no vacations, no luxuries, paid off my car, saved up, gave up sleep, friends, and balance just to stay ahead. Cameron? He dropped out of 2 schools, got scammed by some crypto guy, and now calls playing video games until 3 a.m., starting a business. "You said I could stay here 1 year to save up," I reminded them. I did that. Now they wanted me to sell my car, for Cameron. "He's your brother," Mom repeated. "Family helps." I looked at both of them and laughed. "I'll think about it," I said. Dad nodded like it was settled. "I knew you'd do the right thing." I didn't say more. I went to my room, shut the door, and sat on the bed, staring at the floor. They had no idea. I had already made my decision. They wouldn't see it coming. But before we get there, you should understand how this started. This wasn't just one argument, it was years of quiet pressure. I kept giving, they kept expecting, until I forgot what it was like to live for myself. Cameron's big day was just the spark. The fire started long ago. It began after college. I moved home to save money. 1 year, Dad said. That was 3 years ago. Since then, I paid rent, bought groceries, fixed broken things like the pipes, even helped with surprise credit card bills. I never complained. I thought I was just being a good son. But what made it too much was how unfair it all was. Cameron wasted 5 years finding himself, mostly by spending other people's money. Mom always said, "He just needs more time." Dad would say, "You're the older one, Damien, be a role model." But what does being a role model even mean? I worked 60 hours a week in tech support. Cameron slept all morning and posted fake business quotes online with hashtags like #grindmode. Let me paint the picture. In 2019, Cameron wanted to start a dropshipping business. I paid for the company registration and Shopify account. In 2020, he switched to YouTube. I bought him a camera and mic, just until ad money comes in, he said. In 2021, he jumped to crypto. I said no this time, so he took out a $22,000 loan, and lost it all in 2 months. Now they wanted me to sell my car to help him. What hurt the most? I said no, and suddenly I was the bad guy. One night, I came home and found both parents at the kitchen table, ready to lecture me. "Cameron's not like you," Mom said. "He's more emotional, you're steady, he's chasing something bigger." "Oh, sorry," I replied. "Does he break out in hives when he hears the word job?" "Stop being nasty," Dad snapped. "He's trying, but the debt gives him anxiety." "Then sell his game console," I said. "Maybe that'll help his stress." Dad stood up. "No more smart remarks. And no more freeloading," I said. "You raised my rent while he pays nothing." "He's family," Mom said. "So am I." Silence. After that, things only got worse. Cameron started ordering takeout with the family credit card. One of my packages was torn open. It was a work phone. His girlfriend practically lived with us, ate our food, mocked me for budgeting, and called me uptight because I actually pay for stuff. Then came the final straw. It was Sunday. I was trying to nap before my night shift. Cameron walked into my room, no knocking. "Hey," he said, "your credit's good, right?" I sat up. "Why?" He grinned. "I want to refinance my loan. Can I use your name? Just to get a better rate." I stared at him. He smiled like he'd asked for a snack. "You want me to co-sign your loan?" "Just for a little while," he said. "You've got good credit, there's no risk." I got up and walked past him without a word. He followed. "Wait." Are you mad now? I didn't answer. Wow, he muttered. You always think you're better than us just because you've got money. You owe us. Those words hit hard. Owe them? For what? For raising me as a kid? For only showing love when I followed orders, or when someone else messed up worse than me? They didn't raise a person, they raised a wallet, someone to give and give, but never ask for anything back. Something inside me changed that night. I wasn't tired anymore, I was done. I didn't yell, I didn't fight, I just started planning, quietly, because if I've learned one thing working in tech, it's this. The best way to break a system is from the inside. And my family? They were the system. I made one mistake, I thought I was part of it, but I wasn't, I was just the battery keeping it running. Well, not anymore. Cameron had a big day coming up, he thought it was going to be his big moment. I had other plans. All it took was 30 days, one envelope, no warning. But let me back up a bit. Cameron had planned a huge party to launch his brand. He made t-shirts with weird slogans, used Canva to make a promo kit, invited people like he was announcing something important. The night before, Dad asked me to help set up the speakers. I said, no. Mom stood in my doorway. You're not coming? He's your brother. I told her, then go support him. She didn't like it, but I didn't care anymore. They had crossed every line, I was just drawing one of my own. The morning of the event, I printed the papers, read them twice, sealed the envelope. In our area, it's legal to give 30 days notice to remove someone from a house. I followed every rule. Around noon, Cameron was outside yelling instructions like a director, Dad was grilling, Mom was setting up plastic champagne glasses. I stayed inside, sipping coffee from a mug that said, problem solver, watching the mess from behind the window. I waited. Waited until all the guests arrived. Waited until Cameron got up with a microphone, giving a speech about hard work and dreams. Then I walked outside. People started clapping as I walked up and handed Cameron the envelope. What's this? He asked, smiling. A surprise, I said, you've got 30 days. He laughed, 30 days for what? Dad was heading over, Mom froze mid-sip. To leave, I said loud enough for everyone to hear. The music stopped. You're not serious, Cameron said, opening the envelope. I am, I said, it's legal, this place is mine, you're not a tenant, you're a problem, and I'm done. Damien, what are you doing? Dad said, you can't. I already did. You're making a scene, Mom said. This is the perfect time, I replied, I want everyone to hear. I turned to the crowd. For 3 years, I've paid rent, I paid for food, I fixed this place. Cameron spent that time wasting money on ideas that never worked. I became the backup plan, the bank, the one who always gave. You're exaggerating, Dad said. Really? I asked. I turned to Cameron, did you or did you not ask me last week to co-sign your new loan? Cameron looked embarrassed, it was just an idea. Exactly, you live in dreams, I live in reality. I'm your brother, he yelled, you're supposed to support me. I did, I said coldly, and you learned nothing from it. Mom gasped, don't talk to him like that. You mean like how you told me I was selfish for not selling my car for him, like that? Dad stepped in, you're shaming the family. I laughed once, no, you did that, I just stopped pretending it wasn't happening. Cameron stared at the letter, shaking. You don't even own this place, he mumbled. Yes, I do, I said. I showed Dad my phone screen, the mortgage app, my name, my house. I bought it 6 months ago, I've been paying everything. Silence. No one said a word. You never told us, Mom whispered. You never asked, I said, you just expected me to carry everything. I walked back inside. One more thing, I said before shutting the door, no one owes me for this month, you've got 30 days, after that, the sheriff will explain it to you. For the first time in forever, I could breathe. The house was quiet, no one talked the rest of the day. Mom disappeared into her room, Dad sat at the table like a ghost, Cameron slammed his door so hard it knocked a picture off the wall. I turned on my music, locked my door, and took the best nap I've had in years. I wasn't tired anymore. I was ready. But the silence didn't last. 4 days later, I came home and saw Dad going through my mail. He was holding my loan papers and banking info, didn't even bother hiding it. We just want to understand our options, he said. You're not really kicking your own family out, are you? I raised an eyebrow. The same family that doubled my rent, asked me to sell my car, treated me like a piggy bank for Cameron's dreams? That's not what we meant, he said. This place always felt like it belonged to all of us, spiritually. I laughed. So now you're spiritual landlords? He didn't respond. Then Mom came in and placed a paper on the table. It listed groceries, bills, stuff I had covered for years. This is what we owe you, she said. We want to make things right. Just please, talk to Cameron. I will, I said, but not with words. That night, someone knocked. It wasn't more family drama. It was Celeste, Cameron's ex. She looked calm, like someone who finally got away from something bad. I heard what happened, she said, holding a folder. He told me you agreed to co-sign his loan, she said. That's not true. I was on it first, until 2 months ago, when he changed the info. She handed me the folder. I froze. Cameron had faked my name on the loan, my info, my number. He used my identity. I called my lawyer. He went through everything, the forged forms, the fake emails. You've got a strong case, he said. Forgery, identity theft, maybe even fraud. Cameron didn't ask for help. He stole it. The next day, I called one final family meeting. One last dinner. They showed up quiet, nervous. Cameron wouldn't even look at me. I placed the folder on the table. No food tonight, I said. Cameron, you used my name to get a loan. Mom gasped. That's not true. Check the papers, I said. Emails, signatures, verified by a lawyer. Cameron stammered. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was going to explain. No, I said. You were going to let me carry the debt while you played pretend. Dad tried to speak, but I shot him a look. I already talked to a lawyer, I said. If Cameron isn't out in 10 days, and that fake loan isn't cancelled in a month, I'll take him to court. Cameron's face dropped. You destroy everything, he said. You already ruined my credit, I replied. I'm just protecting myself now. That night, he left. No goodbye, no apology, just gone. Like someone stealing in reverse, left nothing but a mess behind. A few days later, while I made coffee, Mom walked in quietly and set a small envelope beside my cup. Inside was a short note in her handwriting. We didn't see how much you were doing. We're not asking for forgiveness, but we finally understand. I read it, folded it, said nothing. Just when I thought everything had calmed down, I got a letter, no return address. It was from Celeste. I know this is sudden, but my company has a job opening in Boston, systems analyst, with housing support. This isn't about cleaning up after anyone, it's about starting fresh, if you're ready. I leaned back and read the letter again. Boston, a city where no one knew me. No one there knew how hard I'd worked just to survive in a house that never really felt like home. I smiled. They thought my peace was free. So, I took back everything else. Now I had something I hadn't had in years, a choice. And this time, it was mine. Sometimes I still hear their voices in my head. Dad, sighing and looking for attention. Mom, using silence to punish. Cameron yelling, "You're supposed to help me, you're my brother." That used to break me. Now, it just reminds me why I left. 2 weeks after Cameron disappeared, the house felt strange, not peaceful, just empty. Fake calm, like after a storm when the air feels too quiet. My parents acted normal, but we all knew it wasn't. They moved around like I might explode at any moment. Every day, I heard them whispering about money, bills, repairs, the stuff I used to handle without being asked. This time, I let them feel it. Not out of revenge, but because they needed to understand what it was like without me. 3 days before their deadline, I came home and saw Dad sitting outside. He didn't yell or blame me, he just looked tired. "I'm trying to rent a place," he said. "They want income proof and credit checks. It's hard." I nodded. "You'll figure it out." He didn't mention Cameron, didn't guilt trip me. For once, it felt like a real moment. When they finally moved out, Mom gave me an envelope tucked into a tray of food. "It's not much," she said, "but it's something." It had $320 in cash. I didn't take it, I didn't need it. The food sat in the fridge for weeks before I threw it out. But I remembered the gesture. Cameron never said a word, no call, no sorry. Just a new Instagram post, in a shared office, pretending to work. Now he called himself a resilience coach. Resilient from what? Someone telling him no? His post got 8 likes, I didn't give it the 9th. I thought that was the end. Then, a month later, I got a message from someone named Lacey, a friend of Celeste. "I read your story on Reddit. What you did helped more people than you know. So many of us have a Cameron in our lives. We needed to see someone finally stand up." I read her message 3 times. Not because I doubted it, but because it was the first time someone saw me as strong, not selfish. 2 weeks later, I packed my bags. Took the job in Boston. New job, new place. No guilt, no freeloaders, no more being told to help Cameron. Sometimes, I still open my old banking app by habit, waiting to see money missing or another emergency. But there's nothing. Just my account, my money, my life. That's when I finally understood. They never loved me. They loved what I did for them. The fixer, the helper, the one who always said yes. And when I stopped being that, I became the bad guy. But now, in a Boston cafe, with my laptop open and my phone silent, I feel the thing they feared most, freedom. I sold the house, invested the money, kept a copy of the eviction letter in a drawer, not out of hate, but as a reminder. Saying no isn't mean. Walking away isn't wrong. Boundaries save lives. People ask if I miss my family, the holidays, the closeness. Here's the truth. I don't miss them. I miss what I thought family was supposed to be. What I had was emotional debt dressed up as love. Loyalty with conditions. I don't miss that, not at all. And if you're reading this, if you're the helper in your family, you're not selfish. You're not broken. You're just tired. And maybe it's time to give yourself the one thing they've taken for years. Freedom. Because here's what no one tells you. Being the villain in their story? Totally worth it, if it means becoming the hero in your own.